I'm joined here this morning by Abbie Diaz. Good morning.
Morning, Ashley.
So I know Halloween is right around the corner, and NOAA is doing a few activities to prepare for this. Can you tell me about them?
Yeah, so Friday from 5 to 7:30, we are going to stay open a little later, and we are going to have Home Depot come in and do a little shipbuilding activity. We're going to have the place decked out, and it's kind of like a haunted museum. We're also going to have the haunted ship. The Western Hope is going to be a little spookier than maybe the last time you were there.
And so can you tell us a little bit of history of this haunted ship?
Sure. So the Western Hope of Alpena is our full-size replica of a schooner that's in the sanctuary or in the Heritage Center. But it's actually based on another boat, the Cornelia B. Windeatt. It's a three-masted schooner, and we call it the ghost ship of Thunder Bay. Do you want to hear the story?
I do.
Get in the mood? All right. So November 1875, the Windeatt leaves port, and that's actually one of the last times it was ever seen again for about 100 years. It was a beautiful three-masted schooner. It was brand new. It was built in 1874, so just a year on the lakes, and it takes off. And it was lost for about 100 years, no sign of the 8 people on board. There was a crew of 8 until there was a man just outside of Thunder Bay practicing his deep-sea diving in about 190 feet of water, and he comes across this beautiful schooner upright in the water. The masts are standing straight up. There's no sign of damage. And this was before zebra mussels had really taken over the Great Lakes, so he looked on the side of the boat and it said Cornelia B. Windeatt, and he knew that he had found the missing boat. So to this day, we still have no idea why the Windeatt sank, what happened to the 8 men that were on board, but we know that November 27th, 1875 is probably the day that it sank. November is known as the deadliest month on the Great Lakes. More ships go down in that month than any other, so it's most likely that a storm came in. But we still don't know. Maybe aliens. I don't know.
That's crazy. And for so long that they never found the ship or the people. So the people are still missing. Yep. They were never found.
Our divers have gone down. The cargo is still perfectly preserved. It had a grain cargo, so it's down in the cargo hold. And to this day, the lifeboat is just sitting next to the larger vessel. There's no sign of collision. The masts aren't broken. The cabin is intact. So the hypothesis that we go on, a historic meteorologist, which is somebody that researches weather and history, he went back and he looked at the weather on that particular day, on the 27th, and he thinks that it was so cold that as the waves were washing over the Windeatt, they froze layer by layer, sort of encasing the Windeatt in this ice cube. So as the ice melted, it kind of bobbed and sank the Windeatt to the bottom, which kind of explains why there's no damage. But who knows? And that doesn't explain where the crew went. So maybe it's one of those mysteries we'll never really know the answer to.
Sounds spooky.
Yeah.
So do you guys know why November is there so many shipwrecks?
Yeah, so I'm sure you've heard of the gales of November. It's a pretty common saying around the Great Lakes, but in the sanctuary we have, throughout history, we have about a shipwreck a day in November, sometimes more than one. Just the storms are coming in, fog banks are rolling in. They don't call it Thunder Bay for nothing, Ashley. The weather's pretty unpredictable. So weather with winter coming, it's pretty bad in November. So most boats need to be up, but the Windeatt's owner was pretty greedy, and he put grain on it, overloaded the boat, and he wanted that money for the one last cargo for the winter, but look how that turned out.
Yeah, did not turn out well.
Right.
So kids will, for Halloween celebration, they'll get to go through this and kind of get spooked out a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So they'll be able to go on the Western Hope, which is the boat that it was based off of the measurements and the design of the Windeatt, the ghost ship. So they'll be able to go on. There's a few surprises that I think I'm not allowed to tell, but it's going to be a really good time.
All right, well, hopefully people make their way out. And I know that is Friday. Tomorrow,
Friday,
from 5 to 7, correct?
5 to 7:30, I think we downtown extended it half an hour. So 5 to 7:30, we'll all be there.
Perfect, and it's free to everyone, correct?
Free to everyone, yep. We hope to see everybody there. And we are, like you said, looking for volunteers, candy donations, anything like that can be dropped off and contact the sanctuary.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you, Abbie, for sharing
Thanks,
that story
Ashley.
with us, and hopefully people will make their way out to NOAA tomorrow.
Absolutely, I look forward to seeing people.